Well, it was a strange game, and first I'd like to give a lot of credit to Monty. You watch them on film; those three guards, they do a lot of things. It's amazing how much they get to the free throw line. They've done it all year long, and that was one of the things we talked about. These three guys up here, in order. Brandon, I thought played well, not his best. I thought. Trav had one of his best games, and of course Adrian had an off-the-chart game, and yet we made enough mistakes and fouling like we did, and the turnovers, stepping out of bounds. You just didn't feel as good as you should after a win like this. But I guess that's the place we're at when you're, a team that's contending to move on. You got to play well for the whole 40 minutes, and we didn't tonight. We survived, but I think we learned something, and I think we'll grow from it.
All right, let's direct questions to Michigan State student-athletes Brandon Dawson, Adrian Payne, Travis Trice, and we'll remind you to raise your hand if you have a question. We'll get a microphone to you. Please ask all questions into the microphone. Questions for Michigan State student-athletes?
Adrian back here. Obviously a big night for you, but did you feel anything different earlier in this game that you kind of knew that maybe it was going to be your night, or?
No, I didn't really feel like I was going to have a game like this. I just came out just trying to play and win. And Coach said he was going to come to me early, and that's what he did. And my teammates did a great job and, get me the ball so I can get baskets in, easy ways.
Adrian, Eddie Pels from AP. I know a lot's been made of the young lady that you've befriended. Does that motivate you when you're out there?
For sure. I talked to him yesterday. I talked to Lacey and her parents yesterday. And, it's hard. And, it's like having a family member that's really sick and ill. And, the only thing you can do is just play basketball, and you can't be there with them. And just knowing that, when I play well, it makes her happy. It feels like I'm doing something in a way to help her feel better.
For Travis and Brandon, have you guys seen Adrian play like that, and what is it like when he gets it rolling like that?
Well, honestly, this is not our first time seeing Adrian, having an impact on a game like this, and it goes back from the Texas game. He had a great game, and he came out and made shots. Tonight he was I think 17 from the free throw line, and it all starts with our guards. They found him in rhythm, and he just made shots. So I think as a senior, we're not surprised at his performance, because as a senior, you should come out and play like this, and Adrian just showed the world that he's not ready to go home.
Hey, Travis, you didn't have a bad night yourself, 19 points. Just talk about your mind frame coming into the game.
My mindset really was just come in and do whatever the team needs me to do. But anytime you got a guy like AP who has a game like that, you just got to try and find him. And I think that's what we did early on, and it really helped open up for everybody else.
Travis, you taking it upon yourself to get in the lane a little bit more? I mean, tonight, especially in that key moment in the second half, you put the ball on the floor and got to the basket. That's something you're concentrating on doing more?
I mean, my job really as a point guard is really read the defense and take what they give me. And the play, it kind of broke down, and my guy was close up on me, so my thing was just go and drive. But Coach did a great job tonight of putting us in sets where we could attack and we could get into the lane.
Anything more from Michigan State student-athletes?
Adrian, just got to ask you again, there was especially a stretch where you made like 3 threes, you threw up a left-hander, made a three-pointer. Was there a time today where it just sort of felt like you're in some sort of other world?
Yeah, when you're scoring like that and the game's coming so easy to you, and you're making a lot of shots, it feels like you're in a rhythm, and it feels like you can't be stopped. And I just wanted to, I just continue to just thank the players and my coaches for being able to give me the ball in situations like that.
Adrian, coming into the game, I mean, Delaware's not a team with a lot of size. Did you see that as a potential way for you to really have a big impact?
I didn't look at it that way, but you know, Coach had a scout report, and I just just listened to it and try to go with it. And it was to go inside and play inside out, and that's what we've been doing the past months, and that's what we're trying to continue to do, because when we play inside out, it opens up for the guards and it makes things much easier.
Adrian, you broke Greg Kelser's NCAA single scoring record against Notre Dame in '79. What do those kind of things mean to you, or what do they mean to the team in general when a player goes off like that and is going to be in the record books now for who knows how long?
I would say is leaving a legacy. I talked to Coach about that the other day. I sent him a text, and we're just trying to continue to win games, and we play this weekend, and we're here to win the weekend, and that's the main goal.
All right, we'll excuse Michigan State student athletes, and when they've left the stage, we'll direct questions to Coach Izzo. Izzo. Thank you, guys. Start right over here.
Tom, there's been a lot about Brandon Dawson the last weekend and Keith Appling the last month. Is there ever a point where you take Adrian Payne for granted in what he can do?
I'm like BJ. I don't think so. I mean, I'm really proud of AP, but what I'm proudest of him about, and he did send a text, and he's going to do this and do that. He didn't take that many shots. I mean, he took 15 shots, but he did what if he would do all the time, he established himself inside, got to the free throw line where he's very good and got some confidence there, and then, like it was with Keith early in the year, when he was passing and not turning it over, all of a sudden his shooting went up. When AP starts inside out, all of a sudden his game goes up, and I don't think I take him for granted. I think sometimes he's got to realize that he's really a good player, and if he just plays inside out, lets the game come to him, which I thought he did tonight, figured out what they could do. He's right. I mean, our scouting report was that's what we were going to try to do, and he doesn't always follow it. Not in a negative way necessarily, but he followed it, and you know what? Good things happen for us. Good things happen for me. Good things happen for the players, and great things happen for him. So it was a good deal.
Coach, I saw you kind of nodding about the text. I don't know how much of that you can share, but what was the message? And
Adrian's not a guy that sends long texts, and he just talked about the things he learned, and he wants to finish strong, and it was kind of a deep text for him about how he's going to just try to stay focused in and do whatever I need him to do. And ironically, when he makes that decision, I think him and I work well together, and my staff. And tonight was an exceptional night. Let's give him credit. I wouldn't give any blame to Delaware. I mean, I think it was you that said it was in another zone. Yes, he was. That wasn't even in the O zone. He was at Pluto and beyond. I mean, he was way out there, and but he really did play under control. There was hardly a bad shot. I thought the worst he did was the first 3 shots of the second half. We said we're going to go right back inside, and he's jacking shots, and but he doesn't take that many. He's not a selfish kid. You're happy when you get a text that kind of says, Coach, I'm going to be with you. And then when he has some success, everybody's happy and it works out.
Coach, you killed them on the board tonight, 42-24. Knowing how good Delaware was in the backcourt, was the game plan coming in to pound them on the boards and with your big guys inside?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we thought we had to go inside. We said we have to stop penetration and not foul. We didn't do that part of the game plan very good. We said we had to rebound well. I thought we did that part very well for us. But we're getting better rebounding the ball, and it's not one of their strengths, but we're getting better because, we got Dawson and Payne back, and those guys are 17, 18 rebounds out of our lineup for 8 or 9 games, and between them. And so I think, we made some progress in a couple areas, but we took some steps backwards today, too. Don't kid yourself. We were not very disciplined. We did not play as intelligently as I think we could with leads, and it'll give us something to work on tonight.
Back here.
Tom, was this a discouraging game for you in terms of how it was called?
You know what I gave up for Lent. Put it this way, there's been games that have been very discouraging for me that are not even my games that I watch other teams. This one, there were some, but it was discouraging the way we reached. And, Valentine's got 2 fouls, and he goes and reaches and tries to get a steal. So I'd have to blame a lot more on us. As you know, I can only say I'm not a fan of the new stuff, because of the length and the things that happen and the great players on the bench. And, I'm not a fan of it, but I wasn't a fan of the way we played tonight. So I was more disappointed than the guys in the numbered shirts than the striped shirts.
Tom, Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. A couple times during the game, you went down to the bench and had looked like some skull sessions with some players. Was that along the lines of teaching to play smarter and things like that? And can you remember an NCAA tournament game in which you had a chance with a lead to teach some lessons? Is that frustrating or is that beneficial? And were you teaching at that point? And can you expand on that a little bit?
That's a polite way of saying I was chewing somebody out, but I guess if that's what it is, I guess that's what it is. Teaching, yeah, that sounds better. Moms like that better. But we made some ridiculous plays. Our bigs, our subs were, did some poor things I was really disappointed in. Zell did some things he hasn't done all year. He's been my most consistent player, night in, night out, by far. And he was uncharacteristically, and I don't know if it was the 2 early fouls that just kind of knocked him out. And so those are the parts that were disappointing, and I did not think we played very intelligently. The game plan was not give up dribble penetration and not foul, and there were a lot of them. 39 free throws, that's 2 games worth, and so we didn't do a good job of that. Our bigs, I thought, jogged up and down the court other than AP and Brandon. Our other guys, and they said like Gavin gets in there, he gets 2 fouls so fast that he can't even get loose. And then Costello did the same thing, and maybe I have a little understanding for that. It's frustrating. I think we all think that this is going to be the better way, but I'd be all for it if we got 6 fouls.